Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Lee County Commission meeting from the 31st day of July. We have some citizen comments. We have 10 people signed in to speak. Commission policies allow 3 minutes each. First up is Lakeisha Hicks.
Good evening, everyone. I would just like to remind the commission that the citizens in Southwest Lochapoka District 5 are still in need of internet and would like any updates that you can provide. And please also let us know what the citizens can do to help. Please email or call me, but we are still waiting for internet in Lochapoka. Thank you.
Number 2, I can't read the first name. It may be Troy Walker.
Yes.
Okay. Not to speak?
Yeah, I'm not gonna speak to that.
Oh, okay. What about Cordelia Walker?
I'm Cordelia Walker. We live at 157 Lee Road. It's in the area where the proposed broadband expansion is to be. And our concern is how the proposed plan will affect Lee Road 157. The way I look at the map that was put in the Black Auburn News, it shows that there are proposed internet service to be on Lee Road 29, which is south of our road, and it's proposed for Road 27, and this is also above us. And the expansion is also for Lee Road 54, which connects with Lee Road 27 on Society Hill Road. And our concern is how will these expansions provide the needed service that we need on Lee Road 157. I have lived there for many years, have had a computer for lots of years, and I have to ride up the road to Sanford School or another facility where I can get enough service to set up bill pay. And I've been promised by our service provider for the past 3 years that we would have better service in the area. And I just wondered if these things would be addressed in your business 8F today.
So can I get your phone number? Can I get your phone number so that I can?
334.
Next up is Rodney Walker.
745 5162.
Yes, sir. My name's Rodney Walker, and appreciate y'all letting me speak for a second. I also live on Lee Road 157. Been there all my life. My wife is an educator, and since the COVID and online classes and all that kind of stuff, she's had to do an awful lot of work on the computer from the home. And a lot of times she gets kicked off, kicked out, and she's very frustrated. A lot of times, excuse me, a lot of times she'll get up in the middle of the night, around 2 or 3 o'clock, set her alarm for 2 or 3 o'clock to download stuff, just so that she won't get kicked off. And I think there's another educator that lives on 157 also. But anyway, maybe there'll be some more details brought up a little bit later that can help us out and see where we can go from here, y'all. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Next is somebody on Lakeshore Avenue, but I can't read the name at all. 808 Lakeshore Avenue.
I'm not speaking, I'm just here.
Roberta Green, now I know who it is, thank you, ma'am. Joanne Hunter, are you here to address the commission?
Yes.
Come on, Ms. Hunter. Thank you.
I'm here again, speaking about the water in my, area. I'm still not getting water, I haven't had water since November. I have to go and carry my water and bring it, I'm too old to be doing that. And I do need to have running water. And, the ones that get some, the pressure is real low, they can't get the water like they need it because the pressure is low. And we do need a water line down there. And I know if any of you all was having the same problem that they're having, you'll be wanting some water, want the water line to come down too. And that's what I was here again, trying to, I wrote down and telling you all some of the stuff that's going on. I gave you that right there on this paper. And I said, I will keep going if I have to go all the way up to the president of the United States.
Ms. Hunter,
Mhm.
I have met with Smith Water Authority. They can't get the people out there on your road to agree to tap into their water line, and they can't afford to bring it to one person. Now, you said you had a petition with a lot of signatures on it.
I gave it to the water department. I gave it to them. Did I need to, I had one to give to you all. I think I showed it, but you didn't keep it. You didn't want to see it one.
Did you gave it to us?
I brought it here before, when I first got the prescription. I had it here, and I think I showed it to someone. They gave it back to me.
I have not seen it, and neither has Andy Morris.
Well, I gave, so the water department, they ended up keeping it.
Yeah, and I don't wanna make you promises, because I don't control the water authority. We appoint their board, but I don't control it.
Well, then, if you tell me who control and who I go to them. I don't know.
Andy
You all
Morris,
know.
Andy Morris is the general manager at the water authority.
Well, the water authority said they couldn't, but somebody can do something about it, and I don't know, you all are up there in the law, so y'all should be able to tell me who I need to go to.
Well, I'm telling you to talk to Andy Morris, because he's gonna be the one to make the decision, not me. But he's gotta have some participants on your road, or they just can't afford to put the thousands of dollars into a water line and take it to one house.
Well, they don't have to take it to one house, they can do it to all of them.
Well, but if the people aren't
We all
agreeing,
need it, and I know if any of you all is there needing some water,
Okay.
you all be doing what you can do too to get that water there.
well, I would advise you to talk to Andy, because I'm in the middle of it, trying to help you, and I'm not able to help you at all, because you're telling me that they got the petition, he's telling me he doesn't. And so,
They must have threw it away then, cause I still have a copy of it.
well, and all the letters that they sent out did not indicate that anybody was interested. So I'm gonna ask you to please call Andy at the Water Authority. If they give you a hard time, I tell you what, if you'll give me your number, I will send it to
I
Andy.
gave my number before, and I was gonna get a call, and I never did get that call about 2 months ago.
Well, would you give it to me again?
It's 706-573-0299.
I will send this to Andy and ask him to please give you a call.
Okay.
I'll do it right now, thank you.
Next is Kelvin Hunter.
Hi, everyone. Just to piggyback on what she's saying, she's a taxpayer. She needs help. So, and the water is coming from Russell County, and like she said, she's not the only one in that situation. There are a dozen houses in that area that's getting water from Russell County taxes in Lee County. Lee County, why they have to pay for water in another county when they live in a different county? And why, when it's a problem, the county you live in, you paying taxes to, can't help? Or in that case, why should you have to pay taxes if you can't get help for not just a need, but a basic need? That's a basic need, water. So, there's some kind of runaround going on right now. So the question is, will y'all truly step up to help her, or will you let the runaround continue?
I'll do what I can, but again, I have no authority over that water.
But you can't speak up though for her.
I can't speak up, and I just sent Andy a message and asked him to please reach out to Ms. Joanne Hunter.
Yeah, because she's a Lee County taxpayer.
I realize that, but paying taxes don't necessarily mean that you get the water. That is, anyway, I'll do what I can.
But, I mean, whether she gets the water or not, she's a taxpayer in need in your county. So do you want to be the council member who pushes aside your people in your county when they're in need, or you be the person who steps up to help that person that's in your county when they're in need?
I'll do what I can.
Well, that's all we're asking.
Michael Holt.
Hey, Commissioners, I believe you have a slot for Beam of Phoenix City. You got time, sir?
All right.
All right, thank y'all.
John Soft, please.
Tony already handed you my most recent request, so once again, a copy of individual customer contract number 01981-0 used in Lee County Commission mailings via the United States Postal Service. I appreciate you giving me the copy of the contract that the Commission's obliged to pay, but I want a copy of the contract that bills are being sent by the United States Postal Service for me to pay. I guess I want to also get your attention to agenda item 8G, as I recall, which will be about enforcement of however you guys decide to respond. Obviously, I'm watching the statements where my tax dollars are going to pay this monopoly very, very regularly. It seems like now we have about 21,000 that are easily documented as Lee County residents who have been victims of this fraudulent billing, which will easily be a class lawsuit. So I would like my county to stop the embarrassment and please end this. We asked you to request from the sheriff a way to enforce wrongful dumping, which was the source of this problem. I don't think that has ever been asked of the sheriff. And of course, it's ironic now that you guys want to enforce fraudulent bills that are being sent through the United States Postal Service. I don't know how to, do this nicely. I'm tired of being in an adversarial position. You can do things like try and trump up somebody's salary before they leave. I'll do everything I can in the legislature to stop it. I'm going to do everything I can in the courts to stop this. I guess the move, at least the next move, ball is in your court. If Arrow decides to stop picking up my trash that my county tax dollars are being used to pay, that will be very easy to deal with in the courts. The last time I took a county contractor to court, John Denson treated them exactly how they should. I suspect I will be equally as victorious if you folks decide to do this. If you decide to put a lien on my property, please, if you think you're right, do so I may take action in the court. I will do my best to discipline this wrongdoing. Thank you for your time. Smooth or sticky today?
Lance Farrow.
Hello, Commission. I know you don't like it when I get up here and speak to you. I'm here about the monopoly trash system, Arrow Disposal. I noticed 2 years ago, May 24, 2023, when Lee County Commission destroyed 3 private businesses to then create a monopoly contract with the people when they had not signed the contract themselves. One of the arguments that the commission had was they did not have enough personnel to actually develop business of watching wrongful dumping to then discipline the bad actors of said wrongful dumping. So they didn't have enough personnel. What I've noticed since December 12 of 2022, we increased the bureaucracy by 2 with 2 billing clerks. On January 9, 2023, we increased the local bureaucracy with a chief billing clerk. This evening, it looks like we're going to be increasing the bureaucracy further with a billing office manager and a chief financial officer, all to get money for a third-party contractor, which no one signed up to have. I want this fraud to stop. It is shameful. Do something, gentlemen.
If you would, please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Those who would like to join me in prayer, please bow your heads. Our Father, we come to you, the source of all, and thank you for all. You are the reason for everything, all we are, all we have, all we do. Let us remember each and every day that gift, and the greatest gift, the gift of the life, death, and resurrection of your Son, Jesus. May we do this work in a manner acceptable in your sight. We pray in your Son's name. Amen. All right, Mr. McCall, we have everybody's here. We have elected officials. I've seen Ms. Oline Price, our revenue commissioner, Sheriff Jay Jones. I don't think I see any other elected officials present. We have news meetings tonight. John, I laid that piece of paper down. You just had it. We have Gator from Gator Media and John West from the OA News present tonight. Gator Media, I think that's a new one. Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
All right, first off, Commissioner Marsh, you've got a PowerPoint on CTV.
No, the representatives from Beam is your show.
Yes, sir.
Come up and-
Good evening, everyone. You don't receive my presentation. Was he done, Mr. Ross? You don't have it? Okay. All right, we'll speak about what we're doing currently, expanding our broadband services into Lee County, Russell County. We're now building fiber to the home. We've partnered with Russell County. Like to see partnering with Lee County as well to do fiber to the home. There you have some areas you want to expand and serve customers in your territory, and we're willing to help participate in that. We're already currently doing that, and we've purchased 800 miles of fiber already, have it installed and ready to go, along with the strand. So we've got the material to build. We're ready to go, and like your guys' help pursue with that. The areas where we would like to target are 0 to 11, 0 to 157. So I know that I mentioned, side of your road, we currently locked down pole permitting TREC, Talcott River, so we can attach those poles. We're working with Alabama Power now to get attachment agreements with them for those areas. Also the Waukegan School area as well. We're already in the process of shoring up everything and hoping you guys can help us out, push it on through, and make it happen sooner than later. I know the residents would appreciate it as well. Justin, on the phone, you'll speak on our presentation.
No, to Michael's point,
Tell us your name, please.
Justin Hurst. So I'm actually the head-end manager over at Beam. Our CTO couldn't be with us today, but to Michael's point, one of the things we pride ourselves on at Beam is we are a local company. We are a smaller company, but because of that, we try to value every single one of our customers, more so than a major competitor would. But beyond that, we think big when it comes to terms of technology. We currently are We've currently deployed multiple 100 gig rings throughout our network. We offer 100 gig services to businesses right now within our network. So for economic growth, economic development, trying to bring businesses in. To Michael's point, in these rural areas that we're targeting, we're offering 10 gigabit services to the side of everybody's home. Streaming video services, phone service, everything. And these are the areas that people have never had cable, or have had, dial-up or twisted pair copper. But we've been, I'd say, drastically expanding over the last year. To Michael's point, we've bought over 800 miles of fiber. We've probably hung over 200, 300 miles of it up to date. And we're excited. We're excited about what we have going on. The people in our current territory, everybody seems excited. All of our customers, all of our future customers seem excited. We believe in our service. We stand by. We stand by what we do for our customers. And we're standing up here in front of y'all today to say, with y'all's help, we'd love to bring this service to your community members with your help. So that's all I got for y'all.
I guess say that, a couple things. Will you tell everybody what BEAM stands for?
BEAM stands for Bringing East Alabama More. It's a motto that we created, and to my point earlier, it's something that we strive to do every day.
And then, and then Ms. Leverett, we're gonna go over, I'm a fan.
Yes, sir.
So I wanted you to come and talk, and we're all five of us, and all six of us, including the judge, are very passionate about getting Lee County residents who don't have service at all.
Yes, sir.
Who are unserved.
Yes, sir.
First, we need to get them service, and then the underserved next, quickly, or at the same time, and it can run in parallel, but we have a process, I think, that, is it on the agenda tonight where you're?
Yes, it's on the agenda tonight. We're actually tomorrow gonna be opening up our grant application process.
Okay.
It will open tomorrow. It'll be posted on our website. It will be due back in, I believe, let's see, the 15th of September. The question period, deadline is September 1st. So if you've got any questions for us, that deadline is September 1st. Getting your proposal in would be the 15th of September.
So do we just go through the website, or do we contact you directly?
I can send it to you.
We can touch back.
Yeah, I'll touch
we can
base
touch
with you
base.
after the meeting, and I can give you, and we can send it out to you directly. We're gonna be sending it out to any of the local ISPs in the area.
Yeah.
They have come before us and wanted to find out about it. So it's gonna be up there. Our 4 projects will be listed with maps and information. And
We can share our maps with you as well, so you can keep a track on what we're doing. Because we've
Yeah.
already moved into some of these areas, like Leroy 100, Kingdom Road, Leroy 166, 165. We've got Strand taking those areas.
59 miles from this project.
yeah, I'm gonna be doing a whole.
They got plenty of power.
We got plenty of power.
We do, and we're, like I said, like Michael said earlier, we're already in the process of heading down to some of these roads that people were mentioning earlier, Society Hill. We're coming. Heading out
Highway 80.
Heading out 280, all of these places, and again, just to kind of reiterate it, is we know that we're small. That's why we wanted to come up here in front of y'all, but we stand behind our product, and we offer any of y'all commissioners, come down and show you what we're doing. We'll walk you around the head end, show you the plant, show you the technology, show you how it works, but we're not a major, big conglomeration of a company. We try to put value on every single one of our customers, and that's something that I think makes us stand apart from everybody else.
Our hands touch every piece of it, so, I mean, we're field guys, we're tech guys.
The attachment didn't come through. If you'll send it again, I'll forward it to you.
That's not to pick on my wife in the back, but she's 40 weeks pregnant, so this was kind of, I didn't realize Jason was gonna be here, so that's my bad. I'm not going to do the presentation, but I will get it to you.
I wouldn't throw her under the bus.
No, that's what I'm saying. So, I love that she's doing great, and she's here to support me, so, but yeah, I had other things on my mind when I sent that email.
I definitely understand. I don't see it. It didn't make it through.
Yeah, that's on me.
Yeah, if you'll send it, I'll make sure all the commissioners get it.
Okay, thank y'all so much.
Excuse me,
Yeah.
I have a couple of questions, I'm sorry. I agree with Ross that we're real passionate about this. What did you say BEAM stands for again?
So BEAM stands for Bringing East Alabama More. So bringing East Alabama more in terms of our service that we offer. in terms of the support that we offer our customers, bringing East Alabama more as a company, just in everything that we do. Not just that, but giving back to our communities too. We are, hosting different things for our customers at our office, giving back where we can to different schools, and providing services at a cost where we can for different people. So, like, it's not just a tagline for us. It's something that we really do try to live by there.
And you say you're locally owned, who owns Beam?
Roy Green started, Beam back in, '67, I believe. So it's been family owned since.
In '67?
Yes, sir, I believe so.
And one last question, does your coverage cover 157, Lee Road 157, or Lee Road 188 South? Do y'all go that far?
Not currently, we're building that direction. That's our target area, but with you guys' help, we can build it a lot faster.
Yeah, and I do apologize, that presentation I was supposed to show, it had 157 in it, but that is one of the areas that we're going to, yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, folks, thanks.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Mr. Hardy, Rebuild Alabama.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members of the commission, the Highway Department wanted to bring to the commission's attention an award for a Rebuild Alabama grant that we were awarded for the bridge replacement on Lee Road 245. This is in Commission District 4. This is a bridge that collapsed in February of '22 due to flooding damage on a little dirt road in Commission District 4. The engineers put together this application. This was part of a grant program that was part of the Rebuild Alabama Act that passed in 2019 that established a $10 million annual grant program administered by ADEM. We submitted the application for the maximum allotment of $250,000 to help cover the cost. We are pleased to announce we were one of this year's, the governor has already announced the award of over $7.5 million of the 10 million projects, 32 projects to date. 9 of those projects are county projects, and we are one of those. We will have to put together another estimated $140,000 for a total replacement cost of $390,000. But this $250,000 award that goes to it, this will also be a locally led project. The hydraulic design has already been completed for this structure. It will be a single span 40-foot bridge. The foundation design is currently underway with the letting likely to happen this upcoming spring. And so just want to make the commission aware of it. Again, your highway department's going after any grants and funding that we can to try to help stretch dollars and get more done with what we can. I'm very proud of the engineers for the competitive application that they submitted among the others. We also got news this week that we have also applied for an ADEM stormwater program grant of $150,000 in pipe material that we will get. We will match that with our labor and installation costs, labor and equipment to install to address undersized cross drains to help us with stormwater issues. But we've also been made aware of that grant as well that we have gotten. So just wanted to bring both of those to the commission's attention and let you know what your group is trying to do for you and the citizens of the county. I'll be happy to entertain any questions y'all may have on this.
I'd like to thank you and your team for what y'all do with these grants for us.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hardy. Mr. Norris, Lotus Polk Park.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, I want to give you an update on the Lotus Polk Park. The county has officially approved plans and bid documents from the architect. I got word today that there was some comments released by the Department of Transportation regarding the entrance on Highway 14 into the park. That's more or less some more particular verbiage that they're requesting to be on the plans. I gave Commissioner Graham and Cameron a copy of that. Mr. Hardy will be sending you a copy in the morning for your review. But pending any major changes, hopefully none of those are cost effective. And if they aren't, we should be good to release that project for advertisement tomorrow. So our projected bid opening date is August 17th. August 17th. The law requires us to bid it for 3 consecutive weeks. So pending any big changes with the plans, I don't see any. We've gone through them. I think this will be the 9th time at this point, just to clarify any issues. So hopefully 3 weeks from tomorrow, or 3 weeks from this Thursday, we'll be opening bids to award a contract to the winning bidder. So any questions?
Thanks, Sean.
Thank you.
All right, you should have found in your packets, those of you that got your packets.
Now at Glynn Smith in Opelika, the new full-size GMC Sierra 4x4 crew cab discounted up to $9,000 off. The popular GMC Terrain's up to $6,750 off. Shop online anytime at glynsmith.com. That's GLYNN Smith.com. Plus, no payments for 120 days at Glynn Smith GMC.
Over 250 new and used vehicles on the lot or on the way to Glynn Smith and Opelika. Get ready to smile.
Current members seeking reappointment, they are George Dyer, Leroy Kelly, and Barbara Patton. And last, this is just an announcement of openings on, let's see, 2 on the Horseshoe Bend Regional Library, and Roberta Green is one of those. She's here. Ms. Anderson, is that you?
No.
She with you? All right.
I'm the new director.
Susan Anderson, we've got George Irvin on the Lee County Youth Development Board, 3 on the Department of Human Resources, Reverend Clifford Jones, Cecil Yarborough, and Angie Colvin Burke, and Randy Price on the Industrial Development Board. Any questions about the minutes, the claims, or the other items on the consent agenda?
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion and second, further discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is unanimous with a vote of 4 to 0 to 1 abstention. All right, Commissioner Cannon, Ms. Lever.
Okay, so in 2021, December, we interviewed Ms. Levitt and we offered her a job. She started in January 2022. And she's been on probation for a year. At the end of December, having 2 new commissioners, Commissioner Langdon and Commissioner Harris, we decided to extend the probation 6 months, which was in June for this past July. So after talking to a couple of commissioners, I would like to authorize the chairman to draft up a contract and have it maybe better for the next meeting. Let's look at it.
I'll second it. All right, I have a motion and a second. Further discussion.
I do. I think we should wait until after the budget is done. And the reason being, and I think you've done a good job and you're passionate about what you do, but I think there's been a couple of things that I wish you and I probably could have communicated better on that. I don't know, maybe outcome of some things would have been better.
All right, I have a motion for drafting of a contract to be presented at the next meeting. I'll try.
What about the end of the month, sometime this month?
Wait,
August.
I'm gonna say not July.
No, today's last day.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Other discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries on the vote of 5 to 0. First up, Lamar Sims with Bueller Utilities. James Majors with Bueller Utilities.
Good evening. Mr. Sims was not able to be here this evening. I'm James Majors, one of the board members of Bueller Utilities. As we were preparing for our budget this year, we got to notice that our compensation for our board members was behind a little bit. We compared with other utility districts, and we sent y'all a letter and asked y'all to consider a raise. We can't vote ourselves a raise. That's something y'all have to do. Thank you, Commissioner.
Hey, James, what's the last one there? Committee chairperson during committee assistance. I know. Second.
Oh, I'm sorry, say again.
The last item. You have the memo.
The $25.
Yeah. During committee existence. Is that, so that means
That would be like, if we have a special call meeting besides our regular meeting, or if we have something like, we also manage the fire department.
now, additional meeting each month's 25, but below that it says committee chairperson during committee existence.
For instance, we're in the process of finishing a new fire station that we're managing, and one of our board members sits on the committee meeting that oversees that, so he gets an extra $25.
Gotcha. There's the committee. Any other questions for Mr. Major?
I'd make a motion for approval.
I second it. Got a motion and a second. Further discussion. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is unanimous.
Thank you.
Commissioner Cannon, Board of Equalization, on this project she's taking.
So I would like to make a motion to nominate Kenneth Carter, James Conner Jr., and Bill Thornton for the Board of Equalization for the county.
I'll second
I have a motion and a second. Other discussion. I have a form here on each of y'all to sign, making that official. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is unanimous. Sheriff Jones, you've got the bid.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, we put out invitations to bid for Panasonic laptop type computers. These will be part of the equipment that is supplied in our patrol units for communications and receiving information from our communications center. We only received one bid back for $37,500 for 10 units. Sometimes, of course, we look a little more into when we only receive a sole bid back, but we've investigated the issues with this, and this is a responsive bid, and the price is within competitive limits, and I would request the commission approve the bid for these computers.
Make the motion to accept the bid.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Further discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is unanimous.
Thank you.
While you're up, here, you got the next one.
Yes, sir. Have a educational reimbursement request for Deputy Hayden Greenlee. We checked the course, and it is in compliance with the standards as part of assigned job duties, and is tied to types of duties that Deputy Greenlee has, and request the commission to approve the reimbursement.
Make a motion for approval.
I second.
Got a motion and a second. Further discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is unanimous. Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you, sir.
Ms. Leverett, Legislative Committee.
So ACCA's Legislative Committee is selected annually to set ACCA's legislative priorities for the upcoming year. The work of the 67-member Legislative Committee is essential to the policy success of all Alabama county governments. Each county is encouraged to nominate a representative. ACCA bylaws require that each county submit the name of its representative following a majority vote by the commission. So the commission is respectfully requested to nominate a representative for the 23-24 ACCA Legislative Committee.
Well, it was my honor to do it this past year, and I nominate Commissioner Doug Cannon for next year.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Further discussion.
I'll accept.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is unanimous. Ms. Leverett, Broadband.
So on May the 30th, 23, the Lee County Commission approved 4 specific priority project areas totaling 39.7 miles to expand broadband fiber optic infrastructure and services to unserved areas. We were notified recently that several of the roads in the county's priorities are also currently funding Rural Digital Opportunity Fund grant projects that are already in place. This is a federal project where we can't commingle our funds. So those are already set projects. So they, and this map shows, not in color, but it shows, you're not going to be able to see it very well because it's not in color. But it does show some areas that were potential areas of question, original routes, and grant routes to be removed. So basically, the hatched areas are the Rural Digital Opportunity Fund grant areas. So the good news is, or the bad news is, while we had to remove some of our roads, all these hatched areas are already gonna be covered. It just means we don't have any control over the timescale for when those occur, because it's federal projects that are already in place. Because of that, we had to remove some miles, but we were able to add an additional 5.1 miles to the overall priority projects, totaling 44.8 miles. So in the end, we're gaining more mileage. And all of the roads that we had to remove are going to be funded. They're just not going to be funded with our ARPA funds. Because of this, we are updating the applications to put it on the ISPs that are bidding, to go back and check and make sure that the projects they're seeing that we've put in place are not already being funded by another project. So if a project is already being funded, they cannot apply for this specific project. So that has now been updated in the application. Because we can't know there are so many grants out there right now that we may not know all of the different grants that are out there. So we're putting it back on the ISPs to make sure when they bid on these projects that there's no other grant money available. As I mentioned before, the grant applications will open tomorrow, August 1st, with a submission deadline of Friday, September 15th, at close of business. Questions and clarifications must be received in our office by close of business Friday, September 1st. These are the projects, the new revised projects. We've got 4 maps. This is I think it's the La Chicoca area.
Ms. Holly, I've got a question. Your legend shows what is the RDOF grant area, but there's a hatched area in the yellow portion that appears to be green, maybe?
Yeah.
What is that?
That's still that hatched area. It's just where the two areas converge. So the way it has been explained to me is if their grant was already going on one side of the road, we could go on the other side of the road. And so some of these, you're gonna see the lines like at the top, that Waverly Road fiber. We go into it a little bit, but most of that is also going to give service to the other side of the road as well. So as long as our project is not completely duplicating what their project does, we can still do some of our roads in our projects.
All right, I'm looking at the South Central area map, and I noticed that 157 is in that hashed area. How will that affect that road? I mean, it's not highlighted, so what's gonna happen there?
So 157, where it is in the hatched area, is in that rural grant program,
Okay.
which we cannot do anything with.
Okay.
Our hands are tied.
So it's just like the blue hatched area?
Yeah, the green and the blue are the same.
Okay.
It's just
Okay.
because of the yellow and the blue making green.
I got you.
It's basically what that is. But yes, all of those hatched areas, that is already plans and people already working on things that we've been told none of our money, federal money, can be used for those projects. So the good news is it is coming, but we're on their guidelines to get that done, and we don't have any control over how long that's gonna take.
Okay, thank you.
So, the county commission is respectfully requested to amend the previously approved 4 specific priority project areas as presented. Additionally, the county commission is respectfully requested to approve the amended grant applications and notice of funding opportunities as presented. All other aspects and processes of the Lee County broadband grant application, including the process by which it will identify providers to expand broadband fiber optic infrastructure and service to populated areas of the county which are currently unserved or underserved in the manner and location set out in the application will remain the same.
motion and a second. Further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's unanimous. Mrs. Everett, solid waste billing.
So the county is nearing the end of the first year of assuming the responsibility for billing and collection of garbage fees. An analysis of the operation has revealed unexpected challenges that need to be addressed. First, the financial and procedural demands of operating a billing office of approximately 21,000 active accounts was underestimated. This has caused a strain on the Environmental Services Department in all of their areas. So we need to help them get back to doing their specialty and what they're good at, and that is solid waste and recycling. It has also become clear the need for oversight by employees with financial and process knowledge and experience to manage the operation. Additionally, the need for streamlined collection processes for delinquent accounts must be addressed in order to minimize the burden on the county's general fund. Just as an example, last year we had to support by transferring into that fund from the general fund $1.6 million to help cover that cost. Finally, the outlook of the operation has evolved from being a short-term in-house operation to the need for a more permanent solution. The ability to keep the billing operation in-house will minimize overall costs, allowing for less increases in garbage fees when the time comes, which will help minimize the public burden. For these reasons, I am proposing the following steps be taken to address some of the challenges. The solid waste billing office should be moved under the commission office, and a new Department of Commission billing office be created with oversight by the chief financial officer. A billing office manager is needed to manage the operation of the commission billing office, including developing and implementing effective billing procedures, policies, controls, workflows, and collection processes. This position will also assist with implementing and maintaining billing systems and software to optimize efficiency, as well as review and analyze revenue reports to help identify trends, cost savings, and revenue optimization, and continuous opportunity for improvements. We intend to put out an RFP for printing services to manage that overall cost, with the hope of possibly being able to find a way to manage that in-house at some point to save on those fees. We also have plans to streamline income verification for exemptions in accordance with Alabama state law. As you all recall, it was, when it was on the property tax bill, it was being collected, or the exemptions were given similar to property tax laws. The Alabama state law says that trash fees can only be exempted for SSI disability, which we have currently been allowing for the way they were being exempted, but we've got to get a process in place for to comply with the law. We are looking into that. We are also establishing a process for management of delinquent accounts to include identification and collection. We were given a letter to review before it is sent out later this week to let residents know that we will start collecting and charging late fees, which we have not done up until this point. We will also be defining and developing enforcement tools to be used as needed for delinquent accounts. Another thing we'll be doing is developing refund processes for overpayments as necessary. So currently, we have been helping establish process controls, including implementation of a lockbox service through the county's financial institution. We've also assisted in developing with policies and procedures to ensure funds are securely handled and payments are on accounts are correctly applied. On July the 6th, I sent out IVES, employment verification services through the IRS to try to get approved for that system so that we can start doing income verification in order to be able to comply with the law of only exempting SSI disability accounts. I have included in your packet a job description for a billing office manager. I was hoping for it to be lower than what it came back to, but with all the different responsibilities that are in it, it did raise it to a pay grade of 120, which starts at $63,430.54. There's a lot of jobs in here, tasks in here related to laws and finding ways to help collection, finding ways to help enforce, and that's gonna take a lot of review and time for a full-time person putting eyes on this department. I will share with you some numbers that we pulled today. We currently have 6,818 people who have either never paid or at least 1 quarter behind. That is 40% of the amount of people that should be paying. We have to find a way to put full-time eyes on these challenges to try to find ways that we can get that revenue in. And you all have set some guidelines, and we now are reaching a point where we have to start following them and looking at other ways in which we can get revenue in. That amounts to about $1 million over the overall, what we should be collecting, $3.6 million at the end of this year, which will be August the 5th. That leaves us about $1 million shy. Good. So that is I shared with you those numbers because I want you to understand, you know, the seriousness of hiring this billing manager position, because we're gonna depend on that person to help us set practices in place and research different things we can do in order to collect this money, not just now, but on an ongoing basis. And I will say too, and the other two positions, the chief billing clerk and the billing clerk, those job description updates are in there. Those did not change their pay grades. They stayed the same. And the last thing I'm gonna be asking you all to approve is for the chief financial officer job, which is a current job. I'm just asking for it to be reclassified from a position of pay grade 203 with a starting salary of $84,426.05 to a pay grade 204 with a starting salary of $92,968.65. The reason for that adjustment, and that is also included in your packet, is because typically in a county government, your chief financial officer doesn't handle revenue. Our situation is a little different in that we are now asking our chief financial officer to take on tasks that was not meant for a county commission to have to do, billing and collections. So that is a huge amount of oversight, and it's a huge amount of money that's coming in to the commission. And because of that, it adds extra work. So there's probably, I think there's probably 8 different tasks that I had to add to her job description that she wasn't currently doing. So for that reason, that is why the job is being asked to be reclassified. So if you're counting, that's 4 things that I'm gonna be asking you all to approve, and we can either do it individually or one by one, if y'all have any discussion about any one in particular. I will say too, I didn't want to interrupt you, John, can I ask you how many positions in the highway solid waste have been just absorbed that we haven't refilled?
We're running off about 10 less positions on this system.
So about 10 less positions. So yes, we are adding some positions to fill this need, but there are about 10 positions this year, and that fund is not paid for.
So what I was gonna say about, can we add this one position, increase the CFO's positions, would cost us roughly 70,000 to collect $1 million. Because right now we're not collecting, because we have nobody to do that.
Correct.
How the last job we added to the environmental services, would that be staying with environmental service, or are they coming back, helping out with under?
So all of those positions will stay, but they will, well, I say stay, will obtain all those employees, but they will move under the county commission building office. So they will stay located in the highway office for now. And the building office manager will actually reside there as well. Justin and his staff have helped us find a home for that person, because that was one of the concerns Anna Kate and I had with taking this on is, you know, it's hard to have oversight over a group of people in an operation that you don't have eyes on. So that was another good thing that we could do with this, is to put that billing officer over there where they're working every day with those employees and kind of working with us to help. I will tell you, from what I understand, the lockbox service is running great. I think that they've seen less of the mail traffic. They've been able to handle the walk-ins a lot better and not have to deal with as much of the opening of the mail and processing, and everything's running smoothly with that process.
And I was just looking at this, that's a huge amount of money, and I got 2 questions. One, can any of these positions be consolidated to save a little money some kind of way?
No, we're drowning. Anna Kate has a full-time job, I have a full-time job, and John has a full-time job. And what we're realizing is this operation needs a full-time person with eyes on it and researching the same kind of things that Anna Kate and I were able to help them with the lockbox. We need new innovative ways that we can help streamline these processes, but we just need a person over there to help them with that research.
Okay, my next question, getting a person over there, what's the process of possibly hiring from within? Because we have a lot of talented people in Lee County that work for Lee County.
So we will be accepting any applications, internal or external. For this position, the experience is a little bit more. I think it requires a degree and 4 years of experience in some type of a billing office type setting.
It requires?
A degree and 4 years of experience in a billing office type setting. But yes, anybody internal or external will be able to apply.
Well, the reason that I said that, I wanted to just do a shout out for our employees in Lee County that do a great job.
And I can tell you that our new HR director and I, Lisa Ruffin, have a lot of the same feelings there, that if we can retain an employee and move them to another department or give them the opportunity to try to make them happy and keep them, it's worth doing that than to lose them to another agency.
I'll make the motion that we approve moving solid waste to the commission office and specifically under the chief financial officer effective September 1. I'll also make the motion to approve the unbudgeted position of the commission billing office manager to a pay grade of 120. Make a motion to approve updating job descriptions for the billing clerk and the chief billing clerk, assuming there is no increase in pay. Then I'll make a motion to approve updating the chief financial officer's job description and reclassify the position from a 203 to a 204 pay grade.
If you don't mind, I'm gonna treat that as one motion.
That's what you said.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second, further discussion.
So, we've talked about this between the commissioners and the commissioners, Mr. Hardy. When you take it on this road, I would like maybe in the near future, look at maybe moving Parks and Rec under the engineering department, maybe grounds and maintenance, to get some of that off you and put it on the highway department at a later date.
So I will say that there is some verbiage in the law that kind of says that the commission office specifically is part of their duties is grounds and maintenance.
Holly, I read that after I heard that. It says under the control of the county commission. It's the exact language. It doesn't say commission office. It says under the control of the county commission.
And Doug, I would support that, but I'd like to hear from Justin at that later date to make sure we're not.
I've talked to Justin about it before, he brought it up, and he's gonna think about it.
Okay.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Further discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
Have the motion cast on vote 4-1. All right. Next up is amend the guidelines.
So one of the things in reviewing all of the guidelines, we realized that we had originally put the exemptions in there as accepting applications in the month of July and August only. We would like to amend those guidelines to include the month of September to allow for application for exemptions for the solid waste fees. So the county commission is respectfully requested to approve the amendment to the solid waste guidelines, extending the period for accepting applications for exemptions for the solid waste fees through September the 30th each year.
Motion? Make a motion.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Further discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries on a vote of 4-1. Next up is your commission office technician.
So we have grown through the years, and I've mentioned this in the past, we have prided ourselves with trying to keep our employee counts to a minimum to accomplish the work necessary. This conscious effort to be good stewards of taxpayers' dollars, to monitor employment numbers for the county as well as other factors has allowed the county commission to thrive. However, I have repeatedly noticed that we've got a lot of higher level employees doing multiple administrative tasks. And it just seems to me that it would be more fitting to have an administrative technician position, allowing for a more efficient use of time by other employees in the commission office. So in continuing the effort to be a good steward of taxpayer dollars while satisfying a tremendous need in the commission office, I'm proposing to reclassify a budgeted position of grant specialist at a pay grade of 114 to an administrative technician position at a lower pay grade of 109. This position will be responsible for providing clerical support to the Lee County Commission and associated departments, including information services, finance, and human resources. The County Commission is respectfully requested to approve the reclassification of a budgeted position of grant specialist to a pay grade 114 to an administrative technician position at a pay grade of 109.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
A motion and a second. Further discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion is unanimous. Budget work session.
And finally, we need to establish the 2023 budget work sessions. Anna Kate and I have been handling budget a little different this year, and that we have actually, over the last probably 3 weeks, been meeting with the different departments and their budgets. We've gotten a lot of positive feedback from that. And so when they present to you, it will be after Anna Kate and I have already sat down with them and gone over their budgets. So the proposed dates and times are Monday, August 14th, following the commission meeting, Monday, August 28th, following the commission meeting, Tuesday, August 29th at 5 o'clock, Monday, September the 11th, after the commission meeting, and then Tuesday, September the 12th at 5 o'clock.
Now at Glynn Smith and Opelika, the new full-size GMC Sierra 4x4 Crew Cab, discounted up to $9,000 off. The popular GMC Terrains up to $6,750 off. Shop online anytime at glynsmith.com. That's GLYNN Smith.com. Plus, no payments for 120 days at Glynn Smith GMC.
Over 250 new and used vehicles on the lot or on the way to Glynn Smith and Opelika. Get ready to smile.
The proposed dates and times of the work session.
Motion and second, further discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion unanimous. This next item I have learned is what's called a layup yard. Did I get it right, Mr. Hardy?
Sure.
Thank you.
Can I interrupt just 1 second? I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
And I meant to have said this when we were talking about everything with solid waste. I just really feel like we owe John McDonald a huge thank you for the incredible job he's done. He has never complained. He has done it. John's attitude is a get-it-done attitude. You know, I can teach folks the skills that I might possess, but boy, it's tough to teach somebody a good attitude. So John, I appreciate what you've done. I appreciate the help that you gave me during all the phone calls and the questions and your willingness to reach back out. So I didn't make a mistake and say something that wasn't completely accurate. So I thank you for what you've done and what you did and the role that you took on after all the billing went sideways on us. So thank you.
And I want to agree, but John, it's not over. It just may get a little easier. It's not over, but you have done an outstanding job.
You know, I made a comment to a couple of people here a while back that when we asked John to do this, he could have said no, but he didn't. He stepped up and did it, so I want to thank you for what you did.
Absolutely. Thank you, John.
All right, Mr. Hardy, tell them about the layup yard.
Thank you, Chairman, members of the Commission. The Highway Department brings before you tonight consideration for finding and securing a lease for a new construction material storage area, or a lay-down yard is what we refer to it in regards to stockpiling materials, whether that's pipe, riprap, materials bought from a quarry. It could also include bringing back wet roadway ditch dirt as we clean out ditches and material that is unsuitable to use on a roadway at that time. Sometimes that material can be laid out and dried out, mixed with other material, and then recycled back in a roadway format. To help us, but we have to have a place to do that. For the last better than 50 years, the Highway Department has leased property off of Lee Road 151, affectionately known as our church pit, from, like I said, more than my time here at Lee County. We've used that. The county has that permitted for the purposes we use it for. We have received notice from the owners of that in compliance with the lease agreement we have. Actually, they are wishing to execute the 60-day termination clause. We received that notice in the early part of June, or the letter's dated early part of June. We received it later in June, but Judge English and I have tried to negotiate with them to see could we renew the lease, could we renegotiate terms. Could the county look at possibly purchasing the property to continue using it as we do for many things, not just pipe storage and material storage and material for our road maintenance. We also use this anytime we have a storm event. It's relatively centrally located southeast of Opelika, and we have used it for reduction of vegetative storm debris. Obviously, all of the C and D has to go to a permitted landfill, but the vegetative debris, the trees, to get thrown about in storms and cleaned up off of our roads and rights of ways come to this area, and with the proper ADM permits, we're able to then open burn and reduce that so that we don't take on the cost of having to tip that and fill a landfill with organic material that can be burned and reduced that way. With the 2019 tornado, Lee County was able to save literally hundreds of thousands of dollars by having this facility to be able to use it as we did. And so as we look at having to move off of this site, we're needing to find another site that we can use in the same manner. Ideally, we would like to purchase 25 acres or so. Currently, we have permitted 35 where we are. I do feel we could make do with 25, and that'd be plenty of room for the future for the purposes we use it for. And so in trying to negotiate that with, in a remote location so that we're not performing construction activities or possibly open burning storm debris where smoke would become an issue around, if it was in too close a proximity to residences. Identified a location off of Alabama Highway 169, remotely in the same area near our church pit, where a property owner is willing to entertain discussions of leasing the property. They're not interested in selling, but they would be looking at leasing the property, potentially a 5-year lease with a longer termination clause, so that if it were to be terminated, we would have more time to act than what we've had currently with this situation. And so what I respectfully ask the commission, if the commission is comfortable and willing to let me try to negotiate those terms and get a lease that we can utilize while we do continue to pursue trying to find property we can purchase for this purpose. But in the immediate future, and the immediate need is try to have something hopefully before we have any kind of storm event that may require a larger scale operation like we have. So I'd ask you allow us to negotiate that and the commission chairman to execute that if we're successful in doing so. Happy to answer any questions.
I make a motion for the chairman to finalize and execute the contract for lease.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And obviously, as soon as we get something, we'll get it to you. We don't have it yet. We're afraid we won't have until the next meeting to get it done, so thank you. NCAT, Mr. Hardy.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. Once again, the National Center for Asphalt Technology, located here in Lee County, just east of Opelika, also off of Lee Road 151, has approached the county in the past. We have assisted them when they've been ready to reconstruct portions of their track where they perform build-ups and then test those build-ups to see, does it make a good road? Does it break down faster than other technology? Many states are a part of this. There are only 2 of these tracks in the nation, the others in Minnesota, that performs similar testing as they do here with Auburn University. What they've done is they've come back and have asked us again if we could assist them with material. They use some of the same material that we currently have access to at our church pit for constructing the subgrade and the base material for some of their test sections. And so in the past, the commission has authorized us, the highway department, to haul the material. NCAT does pay for the material. They pay the out-of-pocket cost. We just offer the trucks and the hauling. It's literally across the road for it. And so the commission policy is if we're doing something like this and helping another agency, the commission does approve it before we do that. So I wanted to bring this request before the commission. We would work this into our work schedule, either a few trucks at the end of the day, or if there's a day that we could dedicate to haul and try to knock it out for them, we would try to do that. But this would not have a negative impact on what the highway department's doing on our county roads. And in my opinion, helping NCAT with their research and studies on what they do helps us also do what we do better. So I would certainly recommend it for approval if the commission is willing to consider this.
I make a motion for approval.
I second. Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Mr. Hardy, how many years ago did they start that pavement test on the south end of Wrightsville Road?
If I'm not mistaken, I believe the first year they did it was 2015. I would have to check to see as far as nailing down any tighter than that. I believe it was 2015 is when they started doing the test sections, and that's on a live section. You know, that's not a controlled feature. That's a county road going straight into Martin Marietta Quarry. It has heavy truck traffic, NCAT worked out, an agreement with the quarry as well as an asphalt plant that's located there to get the load tickets from it so they can quantify and know the loads coming in. So the trucks are, coming in empty, they're going out loaded. And so they have 2 lanes and they have, I'm trying to remember, it's 25 test sections. I believe that's right. I think it's 25 test sections from Lee Road 10 going directly into the entrance of the quarry. They've got testing apparatus and technology in that. They have the maintenance responsibility for it to make sure it stays safe because it is an open county road, but we did contract with them. They've done that now. If it was 2015, if memory serves me correctly, that's 8 years in the study now of what they're seeing. We have employed several technologies on that and what they've done.
We get an occasional report from them about what their study is showing.
Yes, sir. We do. They hold seminars and webinars, and we'll go out and look at different things. We have the ability, thankfully, with the relationship we have, we'll contact Dr. Buzz Powell with NCAT, and he's been kind enough to literally come out on county roads and look at situations with us and lend his expertise to us. It's an invaluable resource we have out there with them. So I'm glad we can repay the favor in some way.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion's unanimous. Goat Rock Ridge.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a subdivision, this is a final plat for Goat Rock Ridge, Phase 2. This is in Commission District 3. This runs along, Lee Road 318 and Lee Road 298 at the crossroads. It's on the northeast side of those crossroads. One correction I do need to make, it says that there are 11 lots being created in this phase. There's actually 9 lots that are being created. There's no new infrastructure, no proposed streets. It's using all existing road frontage on those 2 roads. With it, letters were sent out to adjacent property owners to be notified of the development, so they would have the opportunity if they wish to come. At this time, we want to see if anyone is here to voice any opposition or concerns or support for this final plat consideration by the commission.
Anybody here to address this subdivision? Hearing none, is there a motion to be made by the commission?
I make a motion to approve.
A second.
Motion and a second. Further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's unanimous. Halawaki Creek Landing.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is also a final plat consideration. This is for Halawaki Creek Landing Phase 3. This is in Commission District 4. It is at the intersection and junction of Lee Road 279 and Lee Road 357. There are 4 lots being created with this subdivision. Again, no new infrastructure. It is utilizing existing road frontage. The Highway Department has not heard from any concerns or complaints from letters sent out to adjacent property owners, but would also certainly like to open it up if anyone is here tonight to voice concerns, support, or opposition to this plat consideration.
Is anybody here to address Halawaki Creek Landing Phase 3? Hearing none, is any action be taken by the commission?
I'd like to make a motion for approval.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Last one, Mr. Hardy, adopt a mile.
Yes, sir. Again, this is another Adopt a Mile application for the PALS program, the People Against a Littered State. I believe it was the last commission meeting, we came with one from the Beulah Friends of the Community. This is also in that area. It's by a different organization. It is for the Narrow Road organization, and they wish to adopt 1 mile of Lee Road 265. This extends off of Lee Road 266, heading west to its terminus, and where they're committing, they will, pick up the litter and address the litter along that stretch of roadway. And so I'm going to bring it before the commission for consideration and approval. It's in Commission District 4.
I'd make a motion for approval.
Motion and second. Further discussion? Mr. Hardy,
Yes, sir.
I think I recognize this road. Did you go out there and fly drone?
We did.
That road?
Yes.
Okay. Have motion and second. Other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is unanimous. 2 quick items of information. Next agenda will contain a hearing on a noise ordinance violation written by the Sheriff's Office. Margaret Brown has requested a hearing before the commission, which is in the nature of an appeal, I guess. That will be held on your August 14th meeting. It's my understanding that since that violation was issued, there has now been a second one issued, so I believe they will both occur on the same day. And the last is a point I want to make personally. Tonight marks the end of 40 years of working for Lee County for me. I got a year, 5 months, and 2 weeks to go. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
I would like to say something before we do that. So this is my grandson, Cal.
Hey, Cal, do you remember me?
So May
No,
24th.
it's all right.
Well, May 24th, 2016, he did your adoption. He'll be 10 years old in October. And I have 2 favorite grandsons, and he's one of them.
So, Cal, do they give you an A-Day present every year? They do? Good answer. Somebody would have been in trouble if you'd said no.
You made the comment that the A-Day is more important than the birthday.
Yes,
You
sir.
made that comment with that.
B-Day and A-Day every year. Entertain a motion to adjourn. All in favor, say bye.
Bye.
Now at Glynn Smith and Opelika, the new size GMC Sierra 4x4 crew cab, discounted up to $9,000 off. The popular GMC Terrains up to $6,750 off. Shop online anytime at glynsmith.com. That's GLYNN Smith.com. Plus, no payments for 120 days at Glynn Smith GMC.
Over 250 new and used vehicles on the lot or on the way to Glynn Smith and Opelika. Get ready to smile.